Hello and welcome to Anfield Road TV. It's the fan opposition preview show. I'm joined by two very special guests and a good friend of the channel as well, Maisie from Devils United. But before that, we'll go straight into the intro, and there's no bigger game in English football than Manchester United versus Liverpool. Let's go. Hello, welcome everyone. Thank you very much for tuning in. If you are watching or listening, we are on Spotify now, which is absolutely fantastic because I know a lot of you do work throughout the day or night, and obviously you can't always watch the video content. So the link will always go in the description. Not straight away, obviously it's got to be edited and everything. But yeah, I'm joined by Maisie from Devils United as well, and obviously Spider LFC. It's only going to be a little short one, short and sweet anyway. But Maisie, thank you very much for coming on. As I was saying to you, make sure you do head over to Devils United. Me and Doug from the Dugout Football channel did do a build-up show on her channel, so the link is in the description. Head over, support Maisie with all their content. Let's get it to 2K, most importantly. But Maisie, as I was saying to you, relegation 6 points already in the season. Looking that way, isn't it?
Not good at all, is it? As I said on my channel, this is the El Relegational game today, on Monday. Fighting for the 3 points, that's for sure. It's going to be an interesting one. If we lose or if you draw, we're still at the bottom. But if we win, we'll be above you. Even though it's a horrible place to be in the league, you'd even agree, nothing better than beating your rivals just for that bit of brownie points.
Yeah, as I said, no bigger game as the Spider. We spoke about that last night, and we'll speak about Manchester United and their current form. But Liverpool in the first 2 match weeks haven't started in the best shape ourselves. But as I was saying, are you excited, Spider? We'll quickly touch on, obviously, Casemiro in a little second, mate. But just your thoughts on how do you feel, Spider, and ask Maisie's thoughts and chat as well. How do you feel he will do at Manchester United?
Casemiro, I mean, he can lift any team that he goes into, really. He's probably the boost that they need. The problem, like we've said it before, is that the problem with Manchester United, and Maisie would probably agree with me, is it's a lot of individual players, and then there's no real cohesion between the team there. A couple of lads in pre-season, I was watching them a bit pre-season, and they looked like they were gelling a bit together. I mean, Martial looked like a man possessed, but I mean, it is pre-season. We can't judge anything on that. But what I did see was the transition from the back to front was a lot quicker than what it used to be. And then when the season started, it just capitulated, really. And Casemiro is one that can really hold up that midfield. I mean, they've been relying on
experience he brings as well.
They've been relying on Fred McTominay for far too long in that midfield. And every time they get a chance to prove themselves, they do well for maybe 2 or 3 games, and then they just fall apart, really. He'll bring in a bit of anger into that team, and he might even lift Bruno a bit, I think, for them, because he hasn't looked well for the last year. He's just looked very unhappy, or very, arms thrown about the place, kind of like Ronaldo-esque, if you want to call it that way. Just throwing the ties out of the pram, really. When he was the one. Yeah,
we were playing that United team, or chat as well.
He was the one that was kind of driving them forward a couple of seasons ago, So I think he needs to be re-sparked, and Casemiro might do that for him in the midfield, because with that situation where Pogba wasn't healthy, the situation with Ronaldo now going on is not healthy for that club. And plus, man, I know we haven't started. I'm going to talk about ourselves for a second, but I know we haven't started in the greatest vein of form, but we're still unbeaten in the league. Yeah, of course. And so we're unbeaten in the league as well. And if there's any game that's going to drive kickstart, because I mean, if you think of it, we had 24, 27 chances in the last 2 games per game, just not putting them away. And if there's a game that you're going to kind of just start clicking, it's got to be Liverpool versus Manchester United. That's the one when you want to start burying away goals. So, and hello, by the way, everybody.
Yes. Hello to everyone as well. We all get to all your comments. If you've got any questions, most importantly for Maisie, in terms of Liverpool's perspective, she'll answer. She's best placed to, in terms of Manchester United. But Maisie, was speaking to you really, and this Casemiro could have been potentially the player that could have unlocked Paul Pogba, especially in the right system with Eric Ten Hag. But he's gone to obviously back to Juventus. But it's a massive upgrade on McTominay, isn't it? Like you're going from McTominay, no disrespect to him, but then a 5-time Champions League winner in Casemiro. Yes, he's coming on a lot of money, but as we've seen, and you spoke about on your Casemiro reaction video, he's going to bring a lot of quality, and we brought in a player of similar ability in terms of the world standing in terms of football and world, and Thiago. He come in at a similar age, 30-odd years old, but what are you hoping he brings to this Manchester United side, Casemiro?
Casemiro was one of them players where with Manchester United, we needed it for so long. I know we had Nemanja Matic, but he come a little bit older than what Casemiro is now. I always said if we got Matic a few years younger, we wouldn't have been thinking we need a defensive midfielder because he's an outstanding player. He won the league at Chelsea. He was absolutely amazing. With Casemiro, he's a leader for me on the pitch. He's a strong player in the midfield. He's one of them where he's one of them holding midfielders. What I love is the fact that they're one of them where they're just a defender in front of the centre backs, and that is the kind of defensive midfielder that I like. I like the Rodri type, but there's no better than a proper hardcore defensive midfielder like what you've seen in like the old days of the Patrick Vieiras and the Roy Keanes. It's just old-fashioned defensive midfielders. I do think it's a terrific signing. I know you did mention about Paul Pogba. He could have probably fit into it that way. But the problem is with Paul Pogba, he's played in numerous of different midfielders at Manchester United. And if he couldn't fit into our best midfield post Sir Alex Ferguson with Matic and Herrera, there was no chance he was going to go there with Casemiro either, in my opinion. It's just a lazy player, very lazy player. Jose Mourinho was right, but yeah Casemiro is absolutely outstanding. I'm over the moon we got him, but we still need to think of the movement which Manchester United fans should be looking at is, of course, the owner situation. We can't look at and go, oh, okay, we've got Casemiro, so it's okay. It doesn't matter about the protest on Monday, or Casemiro, he's 30, he's far too old. He's not too old. As I said on my video, he isn't too old.
Yeah, especially as you mentioned, the position in which he plays in defensive midfield, there you could probably get away with not a lot of pace. I think the key with Casemiro, Maisie, would be the players that you do then get around him. Obviously, he's come from a team in which Real Madrid, you've got Toni Kroos, Luka Modric, and obviously Camavinga, players of that ilk. We all know the names at Manchester United, but we'll quickly move on in a little second. We'll get to chat's comments anyway. I'll get Maisie's thoughts in terms of the philosophy in which Eric Ten Hag is potentially building at Manchester United, how that's getting on anyway. As you can see, to the left of the screen, the loss against Brighton, which I predicted. I did predict that one anyway, and obviously the loss against Brentford. But get to everyone's comments as well. Casemiro's the Brazilian James McCarthy. Rob, no way. He's much better than that. He's Casemiro. He won a couple of finals against us, Casemiro. How you doing, Reese, as well? How you doing, Nikki? Thank you. What's Ronaldo's? Well, we could be talking about Ronaldo, but I didn't. He'll be gone anyway.
Yeah.
I don't think he's gone. I think he's going to be staying, because I look at it and think he wants to play Champions League football. What? You look at this, all the teams in the Champions League, because he said he wants competitive Champions League football, which he doesn't want to go to Sporting. What competitive Champions League club will take Cristiano Ronaldo? And that is an honest question, because I don't see any competitive Champions League club wanting to go for him, because the thing is with Cristiano Ronaldo, you sign him, you need to work around Cristiano Ronaldo, and that's what it's always been in any team that he's been at. Cristiano's the main man. You've got to put that team around him. And you look at, for instance, Klopp will never do that for Liverpool, suit one player to suit for the whole team. Tuchel wouldn't do that. Nagelsmann wouldn't do that at Bayern Munich. So PSG has openly declined him. So who actually wants to take him?
Yeah, interesting. Spot on there, Maisie. Guess women's comments as well. Be a good game either way. It's from Mark. Nice one for tuning in, mate. And everyone tuning in, if you are listening on Spotify or whatnot, whatever platform, as I said, a couple of years I've jumped in, this video will be available in podcast form on Apple and Spotify. The link will be always in the description because, as I said, top of the show, a lot of you do work and you can't always watch the video form. It's a lot more easier. Listen to it in the card as well. The link to all these videos will be on, if you search Anfield Road TV on Spotify, drop us a follow on that. It really would help. We would appreciate it. And it'll be available there. You can listen to more of me and more of my guests as well, most importantly. Not better anyway, is there? Evening, how you doing, Brian, as well? But there's flashy players when they come to the Premier League. It's hard. It's much faster.
Do you see
100%.
The one thing about that, Jack, is you have to look at the likes of Casemiro now. The only thing if you were a United fan, you'd be worried about is the fact that they do. I know they're saying they're buying a lot of players that are over the age of 30 and stuff like that. The problem is the amount of money that they're going on at even the later stages of their thing. But that's a long contract for a 30-year-old. You don't see it too often. It's a brave show from United to do for Casemiro. But
option for an extra year, does it mean?
Yeah. And it's but you just the only thing you're worried, you don't want United to become the club that. I don't, because I want to take them on every season.
Retirement home for players.
Yeah. So so you don't want it to become an expensive retirement home for players where they can just milk money. It just makes the owners look worse. It makes them look a bit more sealing and less tactless to do what they're doing. I should say. I couldn't even get that word off for a second.
That goes into spot on there. That goes into what Maisie was saying before. Maisie in terms of obviously the movement that is going on behind closed doors as well.
Exactly.
But spot on, mate. But we'll move on to the best baldy-headed fella in the Premier League, by all accounts from Manchester United fans anyway. Erik ten Hag, Maisie, how has his development been going in terms of, obviously, a massive key point is getting his type of players into the football club, because we've seen it with Jurgen Klopp. Liverpool went the team. It took a couple of years, best part of at least 2 years, to get Jurgen Klopp's full system integrated, but under the certain couple of weeks he's been in charge, have you seen any improvements really, or can you understand the philosophy in which he's trying to bring to Manchester United?
I think what we've seen in pre-season is what Ten Hag wants at Manchester United, but of course the players, I don't know what happened from pre-season. I know people say don't always look at pre-season, go, we're going to have a great season. You know what Manchester United fans are, they get too excited too quickly. Ten Hag, he needs the backing that he needs the backing, because you've seen all these commercial signings that Manchester United had over the years. They've not worked out. They've been emergency temporary players, and short-term success, nice. Long-term success, we haven't had that since Sir Alex Ferguson. He is one for promoting these youth players. We've seen Iqbal making some games. You've seen Savage as well playing some games as well under Ten Hag. Not obviously in the Premier League so far, but we've seen it in pre-season, and he's very happy with both of them. But I think what we do need is we need pressing type of players, which is how Ten Hag works. You look at them players, apart from Fred, who are a pressing player? That's what I look at. And I look at me, Aaron Maguire a pressing player? Nah. Don't get me started on the low, because I'll be here 10 minutes for you. And I don't want to blow both your ears off. Rashford, he doesn't even track back anymore. They're not even faults of Ten Hag. It's the player. But they're not Ten Hag in the long run.
No, you're spot on. I was just going to say, in terms of Eriksen, would you say it said a lot when Erik ten Hag probably played them in the false nine? Was it against Brighton first week, or like in the
Brighton?
Position? And
played him as a false nine the first game,
and then secondary DM against Brentford, was it?
Yeah, he played Ericsson in the false nine because I think he didn't want to play Ronaldo because of all the business, and of course he left at half time in our preseason game, his first Old Trafford game for Ten Hag, and it's a bit embarrassing to get caught on social media saying, "Oh, he's left," and he's obviously not going to be very happy. And that's what you should do. If you don't want to play for your club, you should be dropped. It's just as simple as that. It doesn't matter who you are. If you don't want to perform, you're not starting. And I think a lot of people thought, well, it's not Ronaldo's fault. He should be starting. And then when Ronaldo starts, we get battered 4-0.
100%. Ravi's question here, Maisie, it's an interesting one. Question for Maisie, though, on United. The way he's worded it. Wanting Anthony from obviously Ajax for 80 to a million. Is he the answer, or is it similar with obviously Casemiro? Is it your owners trying to at least pull the wool over the supporters' eyes? Is it? He's not. Would you say he's the answer? He wouldn't be, because I think the way I look at it from an outside point of view, I don't know how Spider thinks as well, and everyone at home. Ten Hag, as you just alluded to, with his tactics and his philosophy, would you feel that money would be better suited on 2 or 3 players rather than just spending all that money on one specific player in one system?
I must be honest, when people say, is this player the answer, is this player the answer, I always say that until you put on the Man United shirt, you never know who truly is the answer for the team. As I always say. But the thing is, with Anthony, we could have got him for 40 mil near to the start of the transfer window. But because we didn't want to pay that, they put it up to 80 mil. That's clearly fault of our own. I would like something different because Rashford isn't good enough for me. I don't think Alanga, he can't get thrown in like last season, because I think I always say, as a youth player, I like how Klopp done it with Harvey Elliott and Curtis Jones, for instance. I like how Pep Guardiola done it with Phil Foden, and that's how Manchester United should be like. I know we're one for promoting youth, and that's a part of our philosophy, but you can't break into youth so quickly. Look what happened to Marcus Rashford. He was a youth player.
Too young, isn't he?
Yeah. Exactly. We shouldn't really be throwing in Anthony Elanga. So I think, yes, Anthony would be someone who I would have liked, but 80 mil is a lot, especially knowing that we need a right back, or this hair is not going to be no longer. And we need a central midfielder, and we need a centre back, and we need a striker, and we need... Yeah, we need basically
get the Forest owners in. Yeah, there we go. Get the Isaacs in. No, but he's spot on there, Mason. As I said, it wasn't straight away, and even with the best coaches in world football, the best Spider, you'd say, putting it in chat as well. Regardless of what manager comes into that Manchester United team, you've had Mourinho, Ten Hag, who was very experienced, and obviously did a lot of great managers, and everyone laughed at Mourinho all those years ago with his quotes in a press conference saying that it was him the issue. But the last 12 months and 3 months, Maisie, would you say it wasn't? But what Mourinho said is very much bear fruits in reality, Anna.
He was spot on, Jose Mourinho. When Jose Mourinho said second place is an achievement for Manchester United, they had pundits like Gary Neville screaming the odds. How dare you say Manchester United second place is an achievement? This is Manchester United. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer gets second place. By the way, I'm not one who's one to hate on my manager, but he thought second place was great. At the end of the day, we're not the same team as we was many, many years ago. We're nowhere near that. Liverpool, Man City are so far ahead, and I even say Chelsea are so far ahead of us as well. We're not. It just feels like everything has gone over the board. The owners, the fans,
very disjointed.
The players, even the fans don't help in terms of flip-flopping from Glazers out to Glazers in. You can't be doing that. I always say you can't be Glazers out when it comes to a transfer window, or when it comes to the ESL. You're either in or you're either out, and this is other things what I feel like is a problem. I know, of course, is said about the money Man United generate, and the Glazers spent $1 billion. I've seen it in the chat as well. But the thing is, with the Glazers, that isn't coming from their pockets like we have seen with Roman Abramovich, like we have seen with Man City's owners. It doesn't come from their pockets. They use it from Manchester United sales. What they have spent to buy Man United, they spent, 600 million to buy Man United, and we're still in that debt now. They haven't paid a single penny off that.
Yeah,
that's because they don't have to pay much tax on it if they're always borrowing against it. I mean, that's the way most billionaires make their money.
Liverpool spent $1 billion before winning the Premier League as well. So we whacked a load of money on pre-Jurgen Klopp. I think everyone forgets where Liverpool were. Obviously, I had that great season under obviously Rodgers, but it was Luis Suarez that dragged that team to within an inch of the Premier League. And but we'll move on. Obviously, I think it was Ravi's comments teed it up perfectly, really, in terms of this one in relation to obviously Martinez, really. Spider, we'll start with you, mate.
Yeah.
What do you think? Do you think you need a player coming in, regardless of his height? It's going to be very difficult how he adapts to life in the Premier League, innit?
Yeah, it is. It is. You know, for me, like personally, I always think you need, you know, at least 5 defenders on the squad, and it's all about Martinez is all about a positional player. You know, he tries to stop the attack happening before it even gets in the box, which is something great to have. But the problem is when you're under so much pressure, like you will be against teams like Liverpool and Manchester City, it's very hard to keep the ball out of the box, you know, and that's you know, he needs to adapt to that. I've seen smaller players clear the ball non-stop inside. I see Bobby Firmino doing it for Liverpool a lot down through the years where he gets in the front. He's always heading balls clear. And this guy is a defender by trade. But do you think he needs a taller defender? I do. I think Man United need a whole overhaul of defensive changes, to be honest with you. Boy clearly hasn't been, you know, a favourite there for years. I don't know how Jones is still there that long, to be honest with you. You know, you've had even Dallo coming into that position, even coming from the wing back position. You know, it does be many. There's so many that I even forget some of their names, to be honest with you. And I used to know every player that came through a Man United squad or a Liverpool squad or Chelsea or whatever. You'd know the entire squad. But the problem is there's so many players now that are just in that position. But it's just, you look, it's there's something clearly wrong at Manchester United when it comes to just the general. It's hard to explain. You know, I feel like
even Spider's lost the words.
I am, but it's not even that.
That takes a lot.
There's something that's going on that's just not quite right, and it's nothing to do with money because they're all paid very highly, paid very well. It's nothing to do with the management styles of people coming in. I know Mourinho changed his style as he was going on through the years. He was spot on about saying that was one of his greatest achievements because it was. You know, you could see it in latter years and before that. But
it's the infrastructure at every level, isn't it? Like
there was something going on around the Woodwards when he was there and all of that just left a stain on United. And for them to do it, I think they need a complete overhaul and bringing in Ferguson back and all is not going to make anything because he's going to be more that you've got 10 years of upsetness going to come in there and it's just going to be blatant anger from Fergie if he gets any control inside in that place. You know, and I don't know, man. There's just a lot wrong with United. It seems like it's. I said 10 to 12 years before they get back to where they are, but they're at a point now. Yeah, they're getting in Casemiro and stuff like that. But then you have Ronaldo throwing his toys out of the pram and stuff like that. It's only going to slow down their progression even more so. And they need somebody. They need a solid defense in there first because they've got all the attacking mindset in the world, but they just have no defense, and they really need somebody like a Casemiro and maybe one more other person with his mentality to come in there to try and steady the ship at least, and not even to get them into like fighting for titles or top four, just to steady it, you know.
Yeah, spot on. Maisie, how do you feel? And especially, obviously, we all watched the game for Manchester United. David De Gea, when I watch him, he's not a ball playing goalkeeper, is he?
No,
and he was at fault for quite a lot of his distribution for some of those goals.
Oh my, his distribution was absolutely terrible. His distribution's awful. Like, people's like, we've got the best goalkeeper in the league. I think, well, what if you've got the best goalkeeper in the league in terms of? I look at it and say, what, 2014 season, he probably was the best goalkeeper, but then you've got new goalkeepers in the league from back then of Ederson, Alisson, Mendy, Jose Sarr, who have got different qualities what De Gea doesn't have. This football now, it is about distribution. It isn't about you shot stopping. De Gea has no distribution in him whatsoever. He's awful with his penalties. And for me, and a lot of people will probably disagree with me on this. All the goals what we conceded in this Premier League so far are actually down to De Gea. I look at them Brentford goals in particular and the Brighton ones. I think he should be doing a lot better as a goalkeeper. At what he should be like as a goalkeeper, what we've seen in the past. 2 seasons ago, I even said, you look at if Ederson and Alisson and Mendy, Jose Sarr never come to the Premier League, for instance, no one would not notice De Gea's flaws as much. But because you've got higher level goalkeepers coming in and showing what they're all about, it does put De Gea in a lot worse limelight, in my personal opinion. As much as our defence is awful, the goalkeeper needs to take a blame as well, because he should be doing a lot better. A whole lot more.
I think his flaws have sent a shockwave even through that defense, making them even more jittery than they should. Because I was only saying to Jack the other day, it's probably United are probably the worst team I've seen in the last season or two playing out from the back, with regards to trying just pass the ball out. It's just like they can't just pick the right man, or there's nobody waiting for it in the midfield. Maybe Casemiro will help with that.
Spider as well.
Yeah.
We spoke about it last week as well.
Yeah.
And you can see De Gea. He's like, no. He kicks it out, doesn't he, Maisie, as well?
Yeah, that's another thing. What's bad? You're giving the ball away to your opposition, and like I hate short passes. I'm one of them. Like I look at short passes, like, don't do this to me, because especially when you've got 5 minutes left of a half, for instance, and you're doing a short pass to Harry Maguire, or you're doing it to Lindelof or Dalot, you look at it and think, what are you playing at, mate? Just kick the ball. It just feels like
that's the time to do it.
He doesn't know where the lines are on the pitch, where the ball should be in and where the ball should be out. That's what I look at it as. And I look at, for me personally, I'm not just saying this because I'm on a Liverpool channel, but Alisson in the past 2 years has been the best goalkeeper in the league for me. And it's very hard to find a goalkeeper of a high caliber of Alisson.
Yeah.
His feet are uncomparable to everybody else.
Even when we're on that point, there are no music.
Kelleher, those Spiders as well.
Kelleher's have a high standard. But for me, why didn't they go? There's a history there. Why didn't they go for Kasper Schmeichel? If they really needed a goalkeeper, they were losing Dean Henderson, and they wanted somebody to challenge. Do you know why wouldn't they? His history with the club. Do you know he's too good to be going to Nice. You know, and if you wanted to give somebody a spur, or somebody that's going to be a good enough backup for the here, you know, that's who I would have gone for with Premier League. Do you know how many times does he save Leicester? You know, in the league from having bad results, and he's turned them around completely. But I know he's not the top quality that you see out there. Maybe that lad from Atletico Madrid, what's his name?
Oblak.
Yeah. So he's another one that could have been easily taken from the Spanish league. He's done his time there now. I think he's another fella could be looking to want the pastures new. But it's just like they don't want to upset De Gea for some reason. In that they did try it with Dean Henderson, but. He's a different beast now at Nottingham Forest. So I don't know, man. There's so many
fax machines broke again, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, though, we for me, we had one of the best backup goalkeepers for me of Sergio Romero. But he was treated so poorly at Manchester United, and out of everybody, he should have been the one competing for that number one spot for goalkeeper. And he was the one who was in the goal when we won the Europa League 2017. For me, he's incredible. Everything about Romero I really liked. He was so humble. And Dean Henderson's a great goalkeeper, but I just didn't appreciate all the rumours what I read, and that really annoyed me. Raya is another one. I love Raya at Man United.
Great,
I'd even love Sanchez.
Is it Sanchez?
Yeah, from Brighton. He's another one. Incredible.
Yeah, spot on. You want to get any comments in as well? I've got any questions for Maisie or Spider as well. It's really to conclude, really. Starting 11, where's Ravi's comments? It was in relation to obviously the starting 11. But yeah, back to Ravi's comment, Maisie. Who would be your starting 11? Who do you think will will start as any injury news. This was the team that played against Brentford. Will there be any wholesale changes, do you think?
I think personally, De Gea will be staying in goal. Dalot will be staying. I think Maguire's going to get dropped. From what I've read, Varane's coming in, so that's one slight positive. I don't think he's played against Liverpool. I don't believe it's been Maguire or Lindelof. Yeah. I think for me, Shaw needs to be dropped and Malacia needs to play. I don't know if that's going to happen, but I'd like it to happen. Martinez will be playing. I think Fred and Scott will be playing. I think Ronaldo will be staying. Rashford will be dropped. Bruno will be in the left wing, and Eriksen will be in the 10. And that just sounds so horrible.
Yeah, Spider. It's going to be interesting, as we were saying yesterday, and as Maisie's hit the nail on the head in terms of the Gea's distribution, and that's. But this is a Man United. But I think Maisie. Any of those players, do you think? We spoke about Eriksen. Do you think where do you reckon he'll play? Will he be picking in that secondary DM position for Manchester United on Monday? Do you reckon? No.
I think Scott will come in because I think Fred plays a lot better with Scott, and that's just hurtful to say because Fred plays awful without Scott. Scott plays awful without Fred, and they play awful together, but they play worse without each other. It's just a horrible thing to hear, but I just think Eriksen will play in that 10 role, and I think once Casemiro is playing, I think he'll play as a lone CDM, and then Bruno and Eriksen or Eriksen and Fred, whoever they decide to do, will play either side of him.
Yeah, spot on. We have to wrap up very soon, but if you, I was 29 of you in here. If you are new round here, hit that subscribe button down below. Most importantly, head over to Maisie's channel. Let's get here to 7K Devils United. And if you are new round here as well, hit that subscribe button down below. And obviously, Spider LFC, the Kit Men's channel. I will be getting Spider on a lot more regular on the channel as well. But quickly get to all your comments. Oh, what was that comment? Spider, any question? Do you try and... Oh, yeah, obviously. Playing PUBG on Twitch anyway.
I do gaming.
We like our gaming.
The lads watch it.
Yeah, Kill We Destroyed them. Hopefully, Brian, but as we've said on yesterday's episode in the pre-match build-up show, both teams are not going into it in the best of forms. But Maisie, I'm gonna ask you. I know a lot of people when they come on the podcast and me, I personally don't like doing predictions, but you gonna go for a Man United win or you gonna go for a Liverpool win? What are you gonna go with?
4-0 Liverpool.
Wow.
That's how unconfident I am that we're gonna get a win or a draw. I think Liverpool's gonna spank us 4-0.
Yeah, Spider.
Yeah, well, I already said 3-0 because I said we're coming back from a point where we're getting 24 to 27 chances in a game and only putting 4 on target. I think that's got to change. And I think if it depends on whether Bobby's back. If Bobby's not fit, you're going to have Salah starting through the middle or Carvalho. And that's a prospect in itself that they'll just keep, picking up the ball quite easily at the edge of the box and passing it between each other. So, yeah, I said 3-0 to Liverpool. I think this is the game we start scoring. And, it could be less, it could be more. It could be just, a tentative affair and 1-0. But I'm going to go 3 just to be kind of, where I think that we're going to actually start kickstarting scoring goals. I think if it's any game, it's this game. Yeah.
Well, thank you very much as well. Maisie, just shout out your channel and obviously what shows you've got coming up this week and obviously throughout the season.
Thanks for having me on, Jack. I really appreciate it. It's good to see you as well, Spider. My YouTube channel is Devils United. I don't just do the men content, even though it's not good at the moment. I also do women's football as well. Been starting to do a little bit of sporting content. I'll be doing a watch along for that tomorrow. And also, I'll be doing prediction shows with John, transfer shows maybe. But thank you so much, Jack, for coming on. And everyone, if you're new to this channel, also hit a subscribe button to Jack's channel. It's a great channel and I enjoy watching the content even though I'm a Man United fan.
You gotta look forward to something, especially the post matches anyway. But as I said, Maisie, make sure you do head over. If you're not subscribed, get Maisie to 2K. One of the most soundest people I know as well on YouTube. and massive supporter of the channel. And even though she does support Man United, we'll forget about that. So we'll let that pass. But Maisie, thank you for coming on. Spider, shout out your channel as well, please, mate. And once again, thank you for tuning in. And go ahead, lad.
Yeah, it's a Spider LFC, as you know, on YouTube. Also, you catch me in the game and stuff. Yeah, and the Kitman is there. The Kitman is going to get going, as we were trying to get it going from last season, but it is getting going. Poor Kev has had long-term COVID there for about 6-7 months, so he hasn't been able to do much of anything. And he's the comedian out of both of us. You know, I'm just a funny-looking guy, and yeah, so that'll be getting going for all the sketches and all that coming up.
Yeah, absolutely smashing. But most importantly, as well as my guests, everyone tuning in or listening, if you are on Spotify, as I said, or Apple Podcasts anyway. But everyone, have a lovely rest of your weekend anyway. I don't know if anyone works weekends, but a lot of you work Monday to Friday. Yeah,
I'm working tonight and tomorrow night.
Yeah, well, most importantly, look after yourselves, every single one of you. And as I said, everyone, thank you for all the support on everyone's channels as well. Maisie, Spider, thank you very much. And everyone, thank you for tuning in, most importantly. And hopefully the Reds get 3 points. Well, I'm hoping we just see a good game of football from both sides. The which?
Oh, there's only one Reds.
Oh, yeah. Liverpool. Quickly, end the show.